Hi class, today is lesson 4-8, adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. Let's go ahead and take a look at the purpose, and the purpose resembles the title of this lesson, which is to add and subtract fractions with like denominators. There's no vocabulary for today. Go ahead and peel off into the first example. First example is a word. It says, Sophie plants a young oak tree in her backyard. The distance around the trunk grows at a rate of 1/8 inch per month. Here it says, use pictures to model how this distance will increase in 2 months. Then write your answer in simplest form. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw, or actually I'm going to drag, a square that's been divided into eighths. And I'm going to mark 1/8 of it to represent the first month's growth. And I'm going to go ahead and drag another one in, which represents the second month's growth, which is 1/8 again. When we take a look at what the total amount is, it has grown a total in 2 months. Right here, 2 months, it's grown 2/8. 2 out of 8. So 2/8 is written this way, simplest form. We're going to show our work on how we get to simplest form. Here we divide both top and bottom by 2. We get 1/4. So the total the total distance that the trunk will increase is 1/4 inch. Example 2, here we're going to subtract like fractions and mixed numbers. Let's start with A. It's 1 subtract 2/3. Now in order to do this, we're going to have to convert the whole number 1 into a fraction. Excuse me, how do we do that? Well, we got to convert 1 into something that has 3 as a denominator. Well, it just so happens that 3/3 is the same thing as 1, so we're going to put down 3/3, subtract 2/3. Now when we subtract, we keep the denominators. If they're the same, we keep that denominator the same in the end. So now we have 3/3 subtract 2/3 is 3 subtract 2 is 1, 1/3. Notice again the denominator is the same as the original 2, and all we're subtracting are the numerators. We can check that by dragging this rectangle that's divided into 3 equal parts to demonstrate that it is indeed 1/3. So we have here 3/3 or 1/2. If we subtract 2/3, get rid of that, get rid of that, how much do we have left? Well, we have this 1/3 left. Going to the next problem, which is the B problem, it says 3 and 7/12 subtract 1 and 1/12. First thing we have to do is subtract the fractions. So I'm going to draw this caret. So 7/12 subtract 1/12. 7/12 subtract 1/12 is, again, subtracting the numerators. 7 subtract 1 is 6. And then we have the denominator. We keep the denominator. We don't subtract the denominator. After we subtracted the fractions, we subtract the whole numbers. 3 subtract 1 is 2. So we have 2 and 6/12, which, once again, we have to simplify. So we divide the top. I can divide both top and bottom by 6. And I'll get 2 and 1/2. Now we're going to go ahead and check that as well. Here I have 3 and 7/12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 12 squares. And I'm going to subtract 1 and 1/12. So I'm going to X out this and take out this. That leaves me with 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6/12, which is actually 1/2 of that square. Let's go to our final example, which is evaluating expressions with fractions. All we're going to do here is a little bit of a substitution. Here it says evaluate each expression with x equals 3/8. Write each answer in simplest form. For the first one, we're going to have 5/8 subtract 3/8. Again, the denominators are the same. Good. So we keep the denominator. And we subtract just the numerators. 5 subtract 3 is 2/8. 2/8 can be further simplified if we divide top and bottom by 2 into 1/4. Next, we have the substitution for x is 3/8 plus 1 1/8. Again, we add the fractions first. So 3/8 plus 1/8 is 3 plus 1 is 4. We keep the denominator. And then we add the whole numbers. Well, there's only one whole number, so that goes down here, and we have 1 and 4/8, which again simplifies to, if we divide by 4, we get 1 and 1/2. Finally, our last problem, substitute 3/8 for x plus 7/8. Keep the denominator. Add just the numerators, it's 10/8. 10/8 is an improper fraction, so we can convert that into a mixed number, which will be 1, and there's 2 remainder, 2/8. 1 and 2/8. Now we've got to also simplify that 1 and 2/8 into, divide top and bottom by 2, 1 and 1/4. All right. Here are your problems to complete the problem. Word problem, and you need to use pictures for this one, just like I modeled for you in the first example. And then for the number 2, you're going to subtract and write each answer in simplest form. Notice that this is a whole number that needs to be converted into a fraction or a mixed number in which you can actually subtract 3/5 from some sort of fifths. And then finally, it's a substitution. Evaluate each expression for x equals 3/10. Put that in place of x. All right, we'll see you in class.